Good Conscience TV, back in production. This is part 2 of the Easter presentation, the springtime presentation of the art of the con, not the art of the con trying to take something from you because I'm insecure and can't figure out how to get what's in here, so I need to take something from you. No, not the confidence man or the con person that's trying to gain your confidence to do something that doesn't bring more peace and balance to the world. No, 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 no. We've seen enough of that. World's biggest con man in the public eye right now resides at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You know who you are, you fool. But he doesn't know he's a fool. He thinks he's brilliant. This is indication of a fool. A real brilliant person doesn't say, I'm brilliant, I'm smart. They just do it. Anyway, so Art of the Con, Part 2. Con meaning con, with, not without. So the person that tries to gain your confidence to get you to buy something or to get you to take your valuable time listening to their insecure pitch, you got to see it for what it is, people. And if you can't see when you're getting conned, you're going to get conned. So how do we keep from getting conned by the con man? And how do we get back into the con with humans who really shouldn't and don't need to con each other because they're more developed humans? Their consciousness does not need to con anyone to get anything. They're completely secure. They have all they need. They're just showing others how to get more of what is needed to bring balance back to the world, not to take something from someone. War is a con job. If you think war gets anything done, no. Defending someone who's stuck in a war, a little more of a gray area. We're talking about eliminating war and aggression, not some utopian society, but realizing how not to have to waste time and money on fighting amongst ourselves. This is just insanity, people. Humans. It's insane. It's delusional to think we can gain anything by force. We might temporarily be able to deflect the force, put the force back on itself, redirect it, whatever. How about neutralizing the force of aggression? These are the tenets of Bodhi Aikido. Using the good that's within to keep a peaceful world. You have to come in here to figure out what the good is here that links to the universal good before you can start practicing this. Okay, the upper level martial arts or the meditative arts, because through the meditation and the realization of beyond fighting modality, that's healing. That's the healing modality. And everyone can learn how to heal, because healing, the root of healing is realizing more at more levels beyond just the selfish, non-empathetic modality. That humans seem to be a vast percentage of humans on this planet, they're stuck in this. They're stuck in needing. What if you could realize in here in breath that you've got all you need? Because through breath, you're here realizing what you got or you don't think you got anyway. It's all rooted in breath. So if you use your breath to wake up what's in here, to fuse with what's up here, well, then you're going somewhere. Then you've got the propulsion system to go anywhere you need to go, to get bigger solutions, to bringing more balance into play in the moment, wherever it is, whatever you're dealing with. These confidence people that are conning you in the old sense, not the con with sense that I'm trying to convey here, these con men and con women and con people, the people that want to con you, it's rooted in insecurity. They feel entitled to something that they haven't gotten yet, and they're willing to steal your time and your perspective to get more of something they already have in here but haven't found, so they got to steal it from you. They got to steal it from you. Sounds like one of our presidents, who understands more than most presidents before him. Misunderstood? Maybe a little too diplomatic sometimes. But we don't see what he said to Netanyahu after Netanyahu gave him some one-sided diatribe about how important Judaism is in the Abrahamic sense. Netanyahu doesn't have a frickin' clue. People who don't have a clue start wars, are insecure. Nolo huevos. Okay? They fight because they don't know how to act. Fighting is reacting. Defending yourself doesn't have to be a fight. You can redirect the energy. Aikido, the way of going in peace. Bodhi Aikido, using bodhicitta to neutralize a situation to keep fighting from happening. This isn't a con, folks. I'm not a confidence man trying to gain your confidence. No, confidence comes through the security of understanding what's in here and processing it here and using these two things together to create a bigger balance in any system, any situation, mental or physical. You know, someone might pull a knife on you. If you know how to take the knife away from them, sometimes you can't keep them from pulling the knife out. But pretty quickly, if you've got the training, the person that pulled the knife out will say, I'm sorry. Now, they can't say, I'm sorry, if the knife is sticking out of their forehead because you just stuck it back in them. No, you destroy the knife, you destroy the need for pulling out the knife by explaining to them how to reason with their inner self, their truer self, their spirit self, instead of flying off the handle, reacting by the physical self, trying to keep itself viable and alive. Okay, spirit doesn't die. So you can't, spirit doesn't need defense. It is, always will be. Where? Who knows? Maybe in physical, may not be. Doesn't matter. The spirit that's in this body temporarily in a lifetime wouldn't it be a little more practical to convey the concepts of good through understanding of spirit then concepts of something that's a little more odd that begins with a G that people have been trying to subjugate you with for millennia. Concept of some anthropomorphic being that is in charge of this whole universe. This is preposterous. Figure out what preposterous word means by studying the language, or study the concepts behind the language in here. Then it doesn't matter whatever language it is, you understand the concept. And, some AI can help you with the language. Once you understand the concept that goes beyond language, that just is good, not that other odd one that starts with a G. Put some more zeros in there. Okay. This is how not to ever get conned again. Of course, people are going to take advantage of other people until they realize that backfires on them after a while. A lot of people haven't figured out yet that it's backfiring, but a lot of us can see it's backfiring even if you can't yet. And it's probably going to get you taken out in a very ugly way. Those people whose bad thoughts and actions are creating strife and imbalance and war in the world. They think they're getting away with it. They really do. They think, look at me, I can do all this. I can walk down the street and kill someone and I won't get prosecuted for it. This is delusion. We have a delusional con man and his little minions trying to steal something that is meant for everyone evenly. This is the root of democracy. You have to understand the pretenets of the founding fathers before you can even understand what they wrote down in its limited function, because it had to be limited what they were writing down, because they had to appeal to a lot of people that didn't have higher consciousness yet. The people that thought it's okay still to enslave other humans. If we've got the guns and the numbers, we can get them to do our dirty work. This is what creates karma. This is what keeps us in the delusionary cycle. Karma is rooted in delusion and not understanding clearly. There's no good or bad karma. Karma is the ballast that keeps us from becoming more enlightened, more aware, less selfish. So these people and these actions that are creating incredible karma, people have karma. This is the direct result of their actions while they're in the physical world. Baggage, whatever you want to call it. All the things we do in the physical world as spirits goes along with the spirit, just like all the energy that goes into a black hole forms the parameters of the black hole. It doesn't get lost. Thank you, Professor Stephen Hawking. You beautiful, beautiful human. Talk about a guy that could transcend the crap. Not because he had ALS. You see, he was able to go beyond his physical limitations to realize what was really necessary for humans, to broaden perspective, universal perspective. The cosmologists understand it because they study the universe. And funny enough, interestingly enough, when you study the universe, the cosmos, you realize once you go in here, that they're the same. They mirror each other. Spirit is trying to represent in the physical world to keep a balance, not make an imbalance. So these people, the con artists, it's not an art. It's a scam. The royal scam, as Steely Dan sang in the 70s. As they wandered in from the city of St. John without a dime. It's a great song. Look it up, listen to it. The Royal Scam by Steely Dan. See the glory of the royal scam. Well, you have to see the glory of it to see how silly we are to allow ourselves to be conned by people who say they know what's good for you, but need to steal from you while they're telling you what's good for you. Okay? It's not just a financial con. It's an emotional, psychological con. Vatican. Most of the tenets of the Abrahamics are fraction of what they're supposed to represent because they've been taken over by people who are trying to con you into thinking in a smaller box. Guess what? You get a small box with more and more people, you're going to get some fighting. How do you make the box bigger? You got to expand your thinking. You got to think past self. So we're this dot over this dash. The dot, the head. The dash, the body. This is the little I. It works together to bring more clarity. This big I, this I, that, I'm in charge. I'm rich. I'm famous. I rule over you. This is BS, con, want to be an artist, but has to be a con because an artist doesn't try to steal from you. A true artist is putting something out into the world that helps you connect to more stuff or hopefully beyond stuff, conceptual, to heartfelt goodness, the kind of heartfelt goodness that cannot be satisfied through physical stuff. It's being and realizing you don't need all the physical stuff. I've got too much physical stuff. I'll be the first to admit it. Can't wait to pare it off. Just like any money that comes out of this YouTube experience, I don't need any money. It all gets paid forward. Pablo Newman, brother Paul Newman. We share the same birth month, date, actual birthday. Not the same year, obviously, but we share the same birthday. Give it away. That was his motto. I don't deserve this. Fuck, I'm just an actor. Give it away. They want to throw money at me, fine. I'll redirect it where it's needed. Newman's own way. Turns out Newman's own way is everyone's way because everyone gets their way because he's not taking any money out of it. He's bringing awareness to the concept of once you've got enough, give it away. Chili Peppers did it. A lot of wise people realize when they've got a stack of money, if they don't want someone to come steal it from them or some con man to try to weasel their way into that pile of money they got, if they're wise, they put it in other places that doesn't have to do with them. No, not offshore accounts, but they basically give it away. They redistribute it to places that it hasn't seeped into yet because the capital, the money concept of capital is limited. They limit the amount of money that's made to keep the currency strong so they can manipulate you by a limited supply of money. And then when you've got people trying to hoard the limited supply, well, that's eventually going to lead to some kind of conflict and probably a war, right? So let's get out of this capital concept for a moment, away from all the con, and back to what's in here. When you realize what's in here, you'll never be conned again. In fact, you'll be able to see a con before it opens its mouth, and you can stop it in its tracks. It's very easy to sabotage a con. You become a contra. Just kidding. Confusing things. If you don't like people being hurt, if you don't like people going to war, if you don't like people telling other people to go to war for them because they're, let's say truthfully, they're pussies and they can't fight their own fights. And I don't mean any disrespect to women, because they're resilient. Men haven't learned that kind of resilience yet. That's why they're creating the warring. It's insane. The jig's up. It really is now. There's a whole band of humans out there that can relate to what we are discussing here. Sadly, I am not getting feedback from you, so I can't comment on it. We'll be able to do that pretty soon. But really, you don't need to ask this questions. You need to ask this questions. This is the contemplative, reflective concept that we do in meditation. And we got to practice mindfulness to get the dizzying array of distractive thought out of our mind to be able to sink in here and find out, hey, what's in that cave? If you want to find the Solomon's mine, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, whatever metaphor you want, true wealth, it's in here, baby. Every one of us has a way to get in here, basically, in a given lifetime. Granted, there are some humans, some beings that have a hard time computing things up here, let alone bringing this up into it. We understand that. It is up to us to watch over them and keep them from hurting themselves and others. This is what humanity is about. This is what not conning humanity, but conning humanity is about. People working together to create more balance so the organism of humanity can stay alive longer. Right now, there's this big imbalance going on, and we don't need an alien intervention to come and lock down all our weapons. No, we created these weapons and a purpose to use them. Likewise, we can realize we shouldn't use them. They're counterproductive. Holy shit, people. The money we've wasted in Iran murdering defenseless people, that money put into Social Security and healthcare, come on, do the math. We wouldn't have problems with healthcare, mental health care, Social Security. The people that hoard the money don't want you to have any money, or they can't hoard it anymore to make themselves look big. You really think the astronauts that are halfway to the moon today, Easter Day, are thinking about the stuff that leads to conflict and war? This whole thing of going back to the moon, folks, if you really understand what's going on, humans are trying to commandeer the moon in a doomsday machine sensibility. Watch the movie Dr. Strangelove, you'll know that reference. The first person to control the moon will be able to control humanity, they think, because they can shift the moon and end humanity. Boy, that's brilliant, huh? So we're going back to the moon, America, because we're worried about what other people are doing on the moon that have made it there, either robotically or actually in human form. No one knows that America isn't the only human representation to be on the moon. Well, yeah, you got the Russians, you got the Chinese, you got the people with the big wallets that are worried about their own security as countries. The reason we went to the moon in the first place really wasn't as lofty as we've been led to believe. If you do your history, if you do your due diligence on why we went to the moon, it was because they're trying to weaponize the moon. Okay, first it was get out in space and then you control other humans because you're in space looking down them. Now it's, okay, let's go to the moon so we can shift. This isn't a conspiracy. This is a reality that's happening whether people can't see it or not. Trying to control the moon to say, okay, so you may have bombs and everything else and bullets, but hey, we can change the orbit of the moon, which would pretty much wipe out humanity as we know it on this planet. They think they've got the trump card if they could control the moon. This is insanity. It really is. It's a futile attempt that demonstrates the insecurity, national insecurity, fear of communism, fear of, once you talk to what you think you're afraid of and have a real dialogue and understand really what you are, not who you are, you're not trying to defend yourself anymore. You're trying to defend what everyone is made of, what we're here for. Paradigm shift. Not Armageddon, folks. To be at peace. This whole concept of, okay, so we're going to have this major battle and the people that are on this side that, of course, think they're going to win, they're all going to a rosy place. And then everyone else is going to the basement. This is a con job, folks. And it's time for humanity to wake up by getting into breath, finding out what's in here, finding out a little more about the cosmic reality, the universal reality, not just the short-sighted human perspective of reality that is about to get us what we deserve if we keep thinking that way, which is so out of balance, we can't survive. There's gold right in here. Said something about the gold before. Gold is forged in the sun. Crystal clarity, cosmic consciousness, universal consciousness, whatever you want to call it, beyond just simply thinking on human terms on this little rock. You have to go beyond that to be able to survive here. We can't survive here as humans just trying to survive. We have to realize why we want to survive. And is it for everyone or just me and you and a couple of those others out there? No, it's for everyone. This is what we're here to figure out. The balance that keeps us all here on this little rock spinning around in this galaxy. Those people out there on their way to the moon and back, I hope there's a lot of footage and virtual reality available when they come back, when they make it, if they make it. Let's all think positive that they do come back so they can share with us the perspective beyond this earth that pretty much mandates balance to continue. Going to the moon and back is all about balance and staying alive. Not just the Bee Gees sense, but I mean, surviving that kind of trip. Going 500,000 miles. That's a lot of frequent flyer miles right there. You know, it's 250,000 miles roughly to the moon and back. So just think of that. Racking up 500,000 miles, frequent flyer miles in a week or so. I mean, we can't do that on this earth. We've got to go into space to do it. We can't find the space and get to the root of the con to get back to the con with unless we go out beyond the earth concepts by going in here. Because what's in here, in this zone of breathing and heart pumping, keeping us in this physical body to a certain time limit, it's about the balance. And the more balance there is, the longer you'll live, or the less you will fear any particular life ending sooner or later for whatever reason. Fierce light. The passion of the Christ. He was willing to die to get a good message out. He was willing to die. Did he die? You'll find out when you go in here. Really, the death and resurrection is the perfect metaphor for the ego, the self-concept, getting checked, getting realized, and then moving on. So you can really see what you, the self, is from a non-selfish viewpoint. I mean, have you ever seen yourself on video after and go, oh, geez, I look like that. Oh, I sound like that. Oh, my God. Then after a while, you don't care. Those people that broadcast good stuff, they don't care if people think they look silly or are saying stuff that they don't understand. This is not a con job. This is a con job. We're here together. We got to get with it if we're going to survive this experiment. Who started this experiment? That's irrelevant. This experiment is in play. You are the practitioners in the experiment. It really doesn't matter how it started. But as Dr. Hawking has revealed, this universe doesn't need a creator concept to have come into play. All it needs is creative energy. That's the good baby, not the odd one with the G at the front. Universal good. It's the basis of the American Constitution. It hasn't really been implemented as best as it can be yet. But, you know, humans are slow to evolve sometimes, especially when we're distracted. All these gizmos, you know, I got 3 laptops, 5 phones, a couple of screens. What for? To communicate to you humans how to find peace. Not how to, but the importance of finding it and where to go to find it. This isn't a how-to guide. This is the importance of doing versus not doing to pull the balance back so we can survive in this physical state, human state, as long as we can for humanity to survive. So I'm trying to think so it's been about 3 hours since I put part 1 up. Had breakfast and lunch with Ma, 94. Went for a walk. Time flies faster and faster as we get older. And all of a sudden, look at this, 5:30. I mean, where did the time go? The thing is, as you get older and slower and time speeds up and you go, what just happened? It's dinner time already. If you understand the grace of being, you can laugh at it. Because as we get slower and the world gets faster as we age, as humans age, we have to make a certain peace with the fact we can't know everything. We can't understand everything. It's about keeping balance in the moment. So we can keep here breathing and living, not have some a-hole or a-het. Not to go sexist here, but we'll talk about sex plenty. Salt and pepper, cayenne, the rest of it. The concepts of libido, all that. I just can't wait to share that with you because I've got some amusing personal experience, as we all do by 60, whatever. So if we can't laugh as we're getting older, damn it, we're not having any fun. We got to learn to laugh at how the world speeds up continuously as we slow down with age. We have to be more particular about what we're spending our attention on, especially if we're trying to keep in balance. Not keep up with the world, but stay in balance so we can still enjoy it as it expands into another dimension. It really isn't that hard, folks. It really isn't. The people that have told you it is hard, you can't do it, let us do it for you and do as we say, this is the con job. The art of the steal. It's not art. It's criminal. Do you ever see criminal art in the two words? And I mean, in one sentence, co-joined? Criminal art? I don't think so. The criminal that comes out of our heart or our need to be as a physical person is just misunderstanding of what projects and keeps the physical going. And that's spirit. And when you understand what spirit is through breathing mindfully and regulating your heart rate, every human's a drummer, okay? All humans are musicians in a sense because they've got a drum beating in here. When you learn how to regulate that through aerobic activity, meditation, breathing, whatever, then you can play with the band, okay? This is the band that unites. This is the band called Peace Conspiracy. This is humanity. Those that don't want to play in the band, well, we're not going to let you into the venue with bombs and knives and bottles. You can't come to the show. So you're going to have to leave all that at home if you want to come to the show and listen to some divine music played to you by Peace Conspiracy. You got to lay down your arms just long enough to find the peace in here. Now, whether you hold your hands together or whether you hold them apart, this brings nature in. when they're together, it helps us relate to that energy we brought in this way. So it doesn't really matter how you hold your hands, how you sit, where you do it. It's just about doing it. Getting back into the flow of the universe through breath. There's not air to breathe in a lot of parts of the universe. That's why it's good we're here. This is a good thing. If you need to breathe, you don't want to be in space. A lot of you might think I'm in space. What's this guy smoking? Floop Shooby, Flip City, as Hendrix and Ross sang way back. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head. He said, I need treatment. But I wasn't that easily led, he said. I was the type that was most inclined, while out of his sight, to be out of my mind. Well, I knew that he thought I'm crazy, but I'm not. Because I know what I is. It's what I is, not I is I. I am. I am what I am. Popeye. Popeye Popovich. Okay. Going in here in breath, it's like eating that spinach. You're all Popeye. You don't have to pummel someone who's being a jerk to keep them from being a jerk. These are the higher martial arts. They're the healing arts. They keep aggression from continuing. We'll continue more soon. There's been a gap since the last series. Life gets complicated. Can't make excuses. Can't always get these out when I want to. But they come out when the I that's in me wants to communicate with the I that's in you to help us remember we're all working together here. So in spirit, I'm inspired when I present you these concepts to think about. I'm not telling you how to act, folks. Telling you we need to realize what we are beyond who we are. Because when we're just worried about who we are, we're reacting. We're not acting. We're not in the moment. Because everything is compared to this little thing that we think we're stuck in. Once we realize we're not stuck in this little body thing, then we can fly. This is the root of the Windhorse concept. It's the root of spirits taking flight to communicate with the good that's in the universe that has been forgotten to a large degree and can't currently be tapped into at great enough rates by humans to continue a balance that will continue humanity. You know, this planet's going to outlast us the way we're going, the way we're thinking, the way we're not working together. This tribal stuff, this nationalistic stuff, this me, you, us, them, we're right, you're not. It's a con game, folks. Generated by an insecurity based in non-empathetic selfishness. You're good. You can realize it through breath. Have fun with it. Experiment with it. No one will get hurt with it. No one even needs to know you're doing the work in here, in breath. You can do it in your sleep at night. That's right. You don't even have to do it when you're busy during the waking day. You can set your psyche into a point before you go to sleep at night that's a meditative kind of sleep. It's called lucid dreaming, sleep meditation. It's been practiced for humans, by humans for thousands of years. It's just out of vogue. It doesn't look good on the cover. It won't get their attention. Or will it? These times are imbalanced. This is the way to balance it again. You find out on your own. That's why you're here. Don't listen to this idiot. This is just a message. This visual you see of this goofy dude with a blue shirt and a good pendant. Who's this idiot think he is? Well, nobody and everybody. That's how the balance works. When there's no personal skin in the game, you got nothing to lose. So, it's the way to peace. Realizing it's about something with a few more O's in it than we've been led to believe by these con artists. They think they're artists. They're not. They're fools. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice? Well, that's a little foolish, because I learned the lesson from the first con, and you fooling me the first time, and I'm prepared, and it's going to backfire on you the second time, folks. Fool me twice, you're done. That's not a threat. That's simple logic. Ask Leonard Nimoy or Spock. Logic needs the perspective beyond self to operate. Universal logic, not personal logic. It's the art of the con. Okay, a little over 45 minutes. That's good for now. Part 2. This is the spring series. This and the one just before it with the other blue shirt. It's Easter. This is Easter Day that this is recorded. Try to post this to get out day after Easter. Technically, yeah, the day after Easter. Yeah, we'll go into that later. How that whole story was misrepresented. One final thought for this broadcast today. The reason profound experience comes to human individuals that may be illiterate, can't write it down in a language that other people can understand. This happens so that the message can't be misinterpreted. When a person has profound experience, them explaining the profound experience will even change through time. When you get them right after they've had this non-self perspective, enlightenment, transformation to the greater self, if you can't write it down, you can't fuck it up because you don't have to worry about language. You don't have to worry about people misinterpreting the language. Mistranslating the message from Aramaic. And the Greeks were pretty wise. They did a pretty good job. But then subsequent, and the Hebrews, but subsequent versions, iterations, written iterations of the way to do it have fallen flat because We're here to figure out how to do it, not read someone else's playbook of how it used to be done before us. Times change, methodology changes with the times if the system wants to stay in balance. Our old way of thinking will not keep in balance the world in the modern sense. There's still slavery going on. What's up with that? The con job is a form of enslavement. They're trying to gain your confidence so they can enslave you with some concept or some thought that's wasting your time and money. See it, be it. Not the con man, but the con person who is willing to work with other people to keep a balance. I mean, if you got kids, you probably want this world to see more balance so they can live a full life and not get sent to someone's stupid effing war. Because their ego dictates, oh, we need to invade this country because we're scared. Fear and misunderstanding. If you want to get to the root of why mostly two sides of the Abrahamic coin are fighting, meaning Jews and Christians, Muslims in the larger sense haven't been creating the problems. They're just reacting to the problems coming out of Christianity, which is a misinterpreted concept of Judaism vis-a-vis slave power of Rome, terrorism. Do it this way, or boom, we're going to put you on a spike, or we're going to send you into the Colosseum, Bubba. It's your choice. Well, we're all in the Colosseum. And the way to keep anyone from attacking you is to radiate a level of compassion rooted in empathy, of understanding that person thinks they need to kill you to survive, but double tricking those who have put you in the ring so that you don't have to fight, they just disappear. This isn't the art of the con, it's the art of the cone that gets us working together and no more fighting. So yeah, I ramble on a lot here, but this is about peace. True, direct, infinite, universal peace. This means the spirit in you is the same as the spirit in me, so we're together in spirit. Let's balance this thing out. Yeah, 53 minutes, man, that's plenty long. If people can watch this in its entirety without breaks, kudos. This is dense stuff coming from a dense individual. So do with it what you will. Hopefully you'll use it. Well, it can't be used for ill-gotten means. You can't use this to manipulate people. You can use it to overcome the need to manipulate people or to calm them when you realize it's about with. I have confidence in you that you can figure it out while you're in that body. If this idiot could do it, you can too. Peace. Brothers and sisters, peace. This wakes up the third eye that's in the middle of the brain that helps keep things in balance. We'll talk about that some more. Bye for now.